Details, updates throughout the afternoon here on the mighty 1290 Coil. I've decided that I'm going to vote for Brad Ashford. And you know why I'm going to vote for Brad Ashford? It's not because of Brad Ashford. He's a nice guy. And Lee Terry's a nice guy. But I'm voting for Brad Ashford because of the ads that the Lee Terry campaign is putting out there. And I'm not talking about the Republican Congressional Committee ads, that they put out. They put out some nasty ones, too. They put out some ads that have really turned me against Lee. But I'm talking about the ones that the Lee Terry campaign is putting out himself. The latest one right now involves Police Union President John Wells. Now, here's the thing, all right? The police union president, John Wells, is there in front of the camera, and he's holding a bullet. He's holding a bullet, and he's saying, one bullet. This could shatter your life. It already has shattered people's lives, and Brad Ashford supports the good time law. This one bullet could shatter your life, could ruin your life, and Brad Ashford supports the good time law, and bullets have shattered and ruined other people's lives who've been released on the good time law. All right? So that's the imagery they're putting out there, which is why you're supposed to vote for Lee Terry. Here's what that ad doesn't tell you. The police union is also supporting, for state senate, a senator by the name of Burke Harr. Burke Harr also supports the good time law, but Burke Harr also worked with the union on legislation for the CIR. So therefore, the police union supporting Burke Harr, although Burke Harr supports the good time law too. So it's not about the good time law. It's about scaring you into voting for Lee Terry. Because if it was really about the good time law, and look, in full disclosure here, Burke Harr is running against Gwen Aspen. Gwen Aspen is the wife of Jeremy Aspen, who filled in for me yesterday and who appears on my show every Friday. In full disclosure here. But Burke Harr supports the good time law, as does Brad Ashford. The police union supports Burke Harr. But the good time law is the reason why they say they're not supporting Brad Ashford? Bull. Because it's not about as far as the police union is concerned, it's not about your safety. It's about their contracts. And that's what it's about. So that's what's going on here. And so ads like that, the ads that have been going on where they go and they, Brad Ashford, is letting Nico Jenkins out and people are getting murdered because of Brad Ashford. Those type of ads that have been put out there. The Republican Congressional Committee that put out an ad saying that, Brad Ashford wants to raise taxes. The taxes he wanted to raise were part of a comprehensive tax package that was promoted and pushed by Governor Dave Heineman. And then the Republicans used that against Brad Ashford? Seriously. For me, I've had enough of this. I've had enough of it. Look, do I think Brad Ashford, I got problems with a lot of the things he's voted on. I think Brad Ashford can be wishy-washy sometimes. I think Brad Ashford sometimes is, he overthinks things sometimes. But you know what? I cannot reward behavior like the Republicans and Lee Terry have been doing to keep that seat. Our founding fathers never meant for the congressional seat, for any government office, to be a lifetime career. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, politics is a contact sport. No doubt about it. But where do you go? Where does it go from here? Does Brad Ashford now put out an ad saying, while Lee Terry was a congressman, 3,000 people died in the World Trade Center. Hey, it's factually accurate. Why not? Imagine how many more people will die if Lee Terry remains in Congress. I mean, why not? Right? These are the type of ads that are going on out there. You got the head of the police union going out here saying Brad Ashford supports good time. Brad Ashford, because of him, one bullet could kill your family. That's basically what the ad is saying there. At the same time, the very same police union supports Burr Carr, who also supports the good time law, but Burr Carr has worked with them on, CIR legislation, which benefits the union. So therefore, yeah. Where's the integrity? Where is the integrity here? And for people, and for this sort of stuff to go unchecked, I agree with the World Herald. And if you're buying into any of this stuff, look, if you want to vote for Lee Terry because you agree with what he has done in Congress, fine. If you want to vote for Lee Terry because you think he's a great guy, fine. If you want to vote for Lee Terry because you're a Republican and you just can't vote for a Democrat, fine. Okay? But if you're going to vote for Lee Terry because you are frightened by these awful ads that are coming out there, if you are going to vote for Lee Terry because you are scared and you think that, the police union is all for Lee Terry and against the good time law, the police union is for the police union. That's all they are for. It's not public safety. The police union, remember, this is the same police union that released that video of that poor African-American kid in North Omaha being raised by gangster parents in a bad environment. And this poor little kid, this is the video that made national news of that gangster kid, that little, 5-year-old kid, made national news about what this kid was doing. And then the police union put out a memo that the media wasn't supposed to get a hold of, but I did, where John Wells, the head of the police union, said, hey, we're going to, this helps us in our contract negotiations. Good time is indeed worthy of discussion. Is good time a good law or not? Worthy of discussion, an important discussion. Do you go with earned time? I agree. Look, I agree. John Wells has been on this program before talking about changing it to earned time. I like the idea. I have no problem with that. Changing it to earned time so that, somebody gets in prison, they go through drug and alcohol rehab, they get a GED, they get an education, they learn a trade, they learn a skill. I've got no problem with that. And they get good time off for that? Yes. Reward good behavior? Yes. No problem whatsoever. That could be the discussion. But when you put out an ad where you're holding a bullet and saying, this could kill your family, it's killed other families, and Brad Ashford supports good time, which is let these good time people get out there and kill people like you. Of course, I'm paraphrasing the ad. When at the same time, that very same union defends and supports a state senator that also defends good time laws? I cannot reward this kind of behavior. I cannot reward this kind of behavior with a vote for Lee Terry. Yeah, my vote for Brad Ashford is much more a vote against Lee Terry and this kind of politics, because you know what? Maybe this is okay in other parts of the country. I don't think this is Nebraska nice. I think the voters in Nebraska I hope the voters in Nebraska are smarter than this, that they're not going to just vote on an emotion like this. I seriously hope that's the case. If this sort of advertising works, I'll be thoroughly disappointed in the voters of this district. Lee Terry's been in office for 16 years. There are numerous reasons why he could be making a case for himself as to why you should keep him in office. One of the reasons that he's brought up is that, hey, look, I've been in for 16 years, and you have to have some longevity before you get anything done in Congress. Okay, fine. But that's not the ad that's coming out there. These are ads to scare. These are ads to intimidate. These are ads that are misleading, both from the Lee Terry campaign and from the Republican congressional campaign. I personally cannot reward this kind of behavior. I cannot reward this kind of behavior. It's important, I think, that the voters know this sort of thing. Pure and simple. I think it's important the voters know this. Because if all you do is you keep on seeing these ads, and you're some dear, sweet old lady who's frightened and thinking, oh, if I vote for Brad Ashford, I'm probably going to get shot. So I better vote for Lee Terry. If you're that lady, don't vote. Because you're not smart enough to vote. Because they're playing on your emotions. They're playing on your fear. They're not playing on. They're not giving you the facts. So if you see John Wells on the street, ask him why he supports some candidates that back good time legislation and don't support other candidates that support good time legislation. I'd be real interested in hearing what his response is. 402-342-1290. 1-800-577-1290 are the numbers. As you can tell, I'm passionate about this. Yeah, on one hand, we're going around saying we're Nebraska nice, and we're doing this stuff? No. Yeah, is good time a valid thing to discuss during this campaign? You bet it is. Do you need to use scare tactics to do it? I don't think so. Especially hypocritical scare tactics. But then again, what do you expect from the unions? This is the Tom Becka Show on the mighty 1290 Coil.
Just remember, zombie